Hey there, this is Chris Abraham from Social Ally, and I am recording this video today as a way of sharing one of the most innovative tools that I've been able to find as a way of amplifying and pushing out a good message to friends of friends, to influencers, and to easily pass through content that I find admirable in other people, from other people. And it all started with Shel Holtz, who you see come up here in the slideshow, who direct messaged me asking me if I would join his Gaggle on behalf of FIR. Here we are, for immediate release podcast. And because Shel Holtz is a shining star in the social media space, in the PR space, and because when I find, there's so many people who are tweeting so much stuff. When I find content being run by Shel Holtz, I'll automatically, obviously, pass it through. So in this case, I said yeah, and when I joined the application, it gave me an ability to hook up my Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and automatically pass things through. So anytime any announcement or post or tweet from FIR comes through on a weekly or so basis, it automatically is retweeted out to my followers, all 47,000 of them. And that's because I trust Shel, and so anything that he says will automatically go to my followers. So that's where I got first turned on to it. So let me give you a walkthrough of what my experience is, and it's not going to be a demo walkthrough because I don't use it. I use it in a lot of ways off prescription. What I do is I periodically invite members to join my Gaggle. In this case, the Gaggle is Marketing Conversation on behalf of Abraham Harrison. That might be changing soon. However, I didn't want to make any changes until the video's done, because in a lot of cases this is an important thing. So just top level, 89 people are part of my Gaggle. I don't know how many of those are doing AutoAMP. However, it includes me. Total membership, the member reach 199,397, 47,200 something of that are mine, and then the total message reach is 12,109,319, which is, if you will, based on the multiplier effect of influencers influencing other influencers and reaching other people. It's pretty interesting, and because of this, my message has access not just to my 47,000, but to 199,000 potentially, with a secondary and tertiary effect of over 12 million. That's hugely important because, we're not all Katy Perry. We don't all have Lady Gaga's reach. We need to we need to come together as herds in order to defeat the communicative potential of, if you will, the large blue ocean animals who are in the form of top Twitter users. So here's the top people, right? We can't be them. We would really like to be them, but we cannot be them. So, of course, Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, Shakira. See, they all have, right here, followers. Lady Gaga's got 19 million, right? 17 million, 15 million, 14 million, and I have 12 million total outreach here. So I'm a little bit like Barack Obama in terms of the efficacy and reach of my message. Now, there's no basis on anything, because there's, of course, this 12 million is more akin to this member reach right here. and so their number, total message for Barack Obama would be a bazillion, trillion, gazillion. But hopefully you believed what I said and didn't think too deeply into that. So first I'm going to do an exploration, a look through of the admin side so that you can get a feel for what I'm doing here, and then I'll show you a member version. Let me do another invite member, refer a friend. Cool. Adjust auto amp settings. GA, manual posting. Okay, cool. So this is the dashboard, and this is the dashboard for the marketing conversation account. There we are. You'll see that there are these accounts linked to this account. So you'll see that Chris Abraham, my personal account with 47,000, Marcon, the Twitter handle for Marketing Conversation blog, which pretty much only flies stuff that that comes from the blog. Abraham Harrison, corporate Twitter handle, and Harrison Mark W, which is actually not handled by Mark at all. Pretty much me, anyway. And then you'll see down here Facebook, the Abraham Harrison LLC page. You can add as many accounts as you want, but if I turn this on, which is called AutoAMP, it would make every single tweet that I make flow through, and it would sink the boat. So because I have 89 people that I don't want to scare away, who I've invited to my Gaggle, and I want to get more, I have only turned on AutoAMP for marketing conversation because I know that the content from Marcon is going to be consistent. It's all going to have well thought out titles, hopefully, because they're all blog posts, and they're all going to have links to content on the Marketing Conversation blog. So I have AutoAMP for that, and I also have AutoAMP for the Facebook page because it doesn't cross-pollinate. Anything that is being AutoAMPed through the Facebook page gets shared to other people's accounts only on Facebook. So you're not, even if you go ahead and take your Twitter content and post it onto your Facebook page, if you're being super lazy, it doesn't matter because they're different. They're in different places ultimately. So here are the breakdowns. So out of the 89 members, 61 are on Twitter, 30 are on Facebook, and 29 are subscribed to LinkedIn. The full reach in terms of numbers is 199,397. The messages total, mostly on Twitter, 267 messages. I do not set it. It's my fault. I don't have a team to work with me on this, so there's only been 19 on Facebook and 1 for LinkedIn. The number of shares are mostly Twitter, 1,913, and ultimately, based on the law of network effect, is the message outreach has been to effectively in front of over 12 million people. And then there's a refusal rate, which we'll talk about in a second, which is important to realize because everybody who's on here who isn't shamelessly sharing everything through auto share gets to go through every message that you queue up, and they get to thumbs up or thumbs down. And I guarantee you, if you start taking advantage and passing BS through, you're going to people are going to start shunning you or unfollowing you or get a bad taste in their mouth. So the result, if you estimate ad savings, which isn't really good for me because my other option is not ads, but for you it might be a real interesting thing, is to look at the message reach, which is 12 million, and compare it to cost per thousand, and realize that it would be a $60,500 savings, or cost per click based on the number of clicks that I've received over the last amount of time. I believe this is historical. is, almost 10,000. It's almost $9,500. So let's see what's next. Bloop. All right. So here are an assortment of the messages that have been sent out. These are, you can see that each one has a certain number of points. They expire in a number of days, 15 days, I believe. You can set that up separately. I'm just fully shameless. 7 times posted, 0 times refused, 53,000 were reached, and 29 were clicked on. So I can see of all of them which have received the most posts. That was in November 7th. Paid, earned, and owned media marketing's modern love story. Refused 6 times, however, and there were 22 clicks. The number 1 refused probably have a lot to do. That was the most rejected. Wow. See these hyperlinks? These are rejections, primarily with messages saying why they were rejected. And if you'll see, it says message not appropriate for my network of friends and followers. If you'll notice the language, it says this is a very long, very detailed analysis of one single email that 3 of us at Abraham Harrison would put together for Miriam's Kitchen. Because it uses me and us, our president, so forth. Well, I'm not their president. I'm not the Gaggles president. So trying to find titles that are completely neutral is a very important thing. And the one with the biggest reach? Oh, that was the oldest one. That's a big, big one. And number of clicks? Ah, look at that. Number of clicks, the business of football infographic. That was a huge number of clicks. And I think that's because it was published during and before the Super Bowl. That's a huge thing. Also, my mention in the Forbes Top 50 Social Media Power Influencers, huge number of clicks, and Chris Abraham being the leading social media influencer of 2011 was via MarketWire and Sysomos was cool too. But you can look through this and you can kind of explore as to what's working, what's not working, what kind of titles are appealing to people, and so forth. I've been getting much better at it because these are these are much more recent articles, so we're doing a much better job of really thinking all this through. Alright, here's all the followers. You can see that that there are 89, and I can basically base them on what how many followers they have. Oh, I have 54,000? That's cool. Oh, it's combined. It's combined all the different things. And then there's Eric from Eric OPR and Tinu, and all these people are there based on followers, and that's pretty interesting. However, the rank is mostly people who've been internal Abraham Harrison people, because they've been doing it the longest, and they generally are all passed through. Glenn is number 11, but most of the time it's all Abraham Harrison people for the time being. Very interesting, very interesting. I can, of course, try to invite more people. However, I don't like spamming the world. I have this, you can, have this invite link here, or you can have this Twitter. This is the message that automatically goes out as a direct message to anybody who is a follower of these 4 accounts. 100% of Marcon people have been invited. 8 have said yes. 50% of Abraham Harrison have been invited. 19 have said yes. only 10% of my 47,292 have been invited, so there's 90% to go. This invitation process is very slow for two reasons. Twitter has a maximum throttle, so that you can only ask a certain number of, you can only do a certain number of API calls on behalf of each Twitter address, and so every day there's only a finite number of people who can be DM'd and invited. So that can be changed, I believe, on a back end by talking to Glenn, but he has it conservatively rated so that you can do other things on Twitter and not just be maxed out here. So it looks like 100 more years until all of Chris Abraham's people are invited. However, I'm always happy to go into Twitter, and I'm always happy to periodically, when I think about it, compose a tweet, paste that in there, and say, hey guys, if you retweet my Marcon blog all the time, please consider joining my marketing conversation Gaggle. And I say please, I make it really simple, and I tweet that. That reaches everybody, not just one by one by one in the direct message inbox. Most people ignore that now, so I do it this way and hope people see that my tweet has been sent. I'll let you see what it looks like to sign up for that. Maybe later. And let's close that. Okay, so let me go back here. So that's what I do. You can have site badges, join our Gaggle, you can send an email. It gives you a recommendation of who to send it to. You can put all your, you can click import contacts from your address book here. I could go to Yahoo. I could put in that password. I can agree. And I could if I'm completely shameless, I could send it to everybody. And I will. Live 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See what happens. Well, I'll go back to that later, see what happens. Anyway, I don't have any rewards. I think I'm probably going to start adding awards. I think that it's worthwhile to me to maybe give out a Kindle, a little itty bitty $75 Kindle for people who reach a certain number or something. Although, and so maybe that'll be an incentive. Lots of people make pretty good incentives. FIR, I got myself a wall clock with their logo on it from Cafe Press. So, there's a bunch of stuff that people can get. You need to make sure you give a good gift because they're giving good message right through. Right now, I want to see if the power of brand and the power of sharing can work, but maybe it just requires bribery. Here's let's do this here. All right. Here's kind of the graphical view of what is happening when you are sharing particular days with high clicks, high mentions, high likes, and retweets and so forth. You can kind of dig into that. You can see how based on this, over the course of February 20th to February 26th, it's all been Twitter. I've pretty much left LinkedIn and Facebook alone, and then you can see the breakdown of where people are sharing from, or are participating from. Washington and Texas, apparently, California, Massachusetts, and New York, with strong Irish and United Kingdom love, and Canada as well. Pretty interesting stuff to look at. I don't know. StockTouch built its iOS stock tracker app on a video game engine. That was the last one. It amongst my Twitter messages, it ranked 76th. Amongst the click rank, it's 95th, and amongst the message reach, it's 2nd. Pretty interesting. I'm not. I wish. I know it kills. I know it kills Glenn that I'm not more of a geek on this detail, but you know what? I am not a. I'm not. Interesting. Look at that. You can download these little. These are all new cool things that I'm not privy to. You can see the first click. You can see top referring domains and all this stuff. If I were a real ad nerd, would be really kind of turning me on right now. But I'm more about the message conveying. So I could emulate excitement here, but I think you should check it out yourself. Ooh, look, we got another member. Sweet. Look at that. All right. Oops, something happened. Let's see. Oh no. Google Analytics. All right, so we saw this already. The way people can share. Very interesting. Here's the referral program. Make money. I can share that on Twitter. And I can share that on Facebook. Theoretically. Let's go back here. Did I send it to everybody? I don't know. I'll close this. And let's go share on LinkedIn. Makes it so easy. Look at that. Now here's where I can go ahead and set up my auto amp. Remember, whenever anybody comes in and clicks that auto amp thing, or clicks the anybody who passes anything through, they can get 5 to 15 points per message. How many days messages are active in the Gaggle? I'm told you should only do 3 or 5, but I do 14. I'm told that you should only have 3 or 4 from Glenn, but I have all 95 to remain active in the Gaggle. And max number of new messages added per account or page each day. I maxed it out at 14, even though he says to make it much lower. So I'm the worst case scenario, but I do allow people to customize the text before and after messages, and I add the Google Analytics tracking code, but that doesn't seem to work. I don't think I have it set up correctly because I don't think I've notified them. And I have it set up for manual RT so that it's RT at Marcon, which I think is pretty awesome. So, all right, let's see if I click here to notify. I don't use any of that stuff. Blah. Okay. Now, auto amp here. Let's go here. Now, here, I only have it set for, the only ones that are being watched for social post is at Chris Abraham. So anytime that I put hashtag GA at the end of a Chris Abraham post, it gets looked at by GaggleAMP, and then it gets pushed into the queue. So whenever I post something that's on, like a post that's on Biznology blog or a post that's on socialmedia.biz or whatnot, I do a post and I add hashtag GA in the same way that hashtag FB would be selective tweets on Facebook and hashtag IN would be selective tweets on LinkedIn, if you set that up correctly. For messages posted via autopost, it's 5 points, and posts end after each message is posted to my Gaggle within 7 days. So I think that's fine. It doesn't need to be. Huh. 14 days. You know, GaggleAMP is being updated so often that it's hard to keep up. Anyway, then there's manual posting. This allows you to go ahead and, create a message directly to Facebook. You can add a photo. Let me do this. Print screen. Paint. Paste. Save. AMP. And close. And let's go back here, and I will put a photo, desktop AMP. I am currently doing a video fly-through, walk-through. Oh, here's a screeny from GaggleAMP's manual posting page. I am taken during a video walkthrough of the software, of the online application. Okay, so I can allow users to customize text before and after message. No. Campaign. No. Control when message. We'll just leave that, and we'll post to Gaggle. And I will do another manual posting with Twitter. And also post to LinkedIn. And I will allow users to customize before and after. And I will post to Gaggle. And then it's that easy. When you're manual posting, however, you can adjust when it'll appear in the Gaggle, and I think that that's very useful. There's also the ability to shorten a URL. So if you have this Lady Gaga, now let's go to Mashable. If you have a long URL like this, and you want to make it smaller, you can just pop it in there and shorten it, and you'll get this bad boy here, which is much easier to use, etc. Okay. We've seen all this fun stuff. Here, I had a recording earlier. I don't know if I showed this already, so please just consider if this is a repeat that that I had major brain injury or not enough coffee. So here's a queue of all the messages that are currently active. Currently active. We can look at just the active ones. These are all the active ones. We can see that it's based on the expiration date. This one doesn't expire for 14 days. 8 people posted it. 0 refused it. It reached an equivalency of 54,257 people and earned 31 clicks. I'm going to include all of them, including the expired, and show you that we can see how things are, posted. And back in the day, November 7th, we were getting a lot of posts through. This one was for paid, earned, and owned media marketing modern love story, or J.D. Lassica, the anachronistic social media isolationist. All these things were posted by plenty 20 people. I have a feeling that over time, even though we have 90 people, I have a feeling that lots and lots and lots of them never set up AutoAMP or AutoShare, and lots and lots and lots of them have forgotten that they signed up for this. So I bet you that tons and tons and tons of their queues are being just filled with stuff, and they're no longer passing stuff through. So it was either my fault for taking advantage, or just the nature of people moving on, like checking something out, trying it out for a while. Ultimately, only 10% of all people in a community participate in a strong way. You can see how many people refused. And then for some of them, based on your voice, here's an article about our president wrote over at the Biznology blog. You can see that people don't pass things forward. Message says our president, not my president, happy face. Message not appropriate for my network or followers. So you need to make sure, if you're going to send these messages through, and this is a good idea in general in terms of retweet, don't use pronouns, don't use possessives, you need to make sure that you try to reframe everything, no matter how intimate or personal, into a third party kind of message. We're supposed to be business blogging and business tweeting, so it's important for us to try to take this all seriously and make it for general consumption. I might have said all this stuff before. So then the effective reach is important too, because you can definitely see that November 7th, back in November, we had the strongest reach through the efficacy of 20 posts, but we didn't get the most clicks. And the most clicks are, strangely enough, the 712 clicks from January 17th, the Business of Football infographic, strangely enough, and also the news about my receiving top 50 social media power influencers on Forbes, and top influencer based on Sysomos MarketWire thing. So it's interesting, clicks versus reach, etc., etc., etc. It's a combination of all. Very interesting stuff. All right, well, let us look at, this is the member home. Now, this is when I arrived, like I told you, I believe I told you before, I joined because of 4-minute release with the Hobson and Holtz report, because I'm a big fan of Shel Holtz, and he's a PR social media marketing guru, bar none, and anything that he would tweet, I would totally pass through, no worries. The problem is that I follow, and I'm followed by so many people, it's serendipity and coincidence that I actually find his message to be able to retweet. So I just auto-share him, and I could, auto share him through Scheduler. I could see my history. I could look at the leaderboard. Now, based on everybody who follows FIR, I'm by far the biggest influencer It's because I auto share, and it's because I have 47,200 and yada 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 whatever followers, and so my amplification's pretty huge. It's also because I have added into the pot my 4,800 Facebook and my 24, almost 2,500 LinkedIn. So messages go to all of them. And FIR does have an incentive. They do, I have a wall clock because I made the rewards. I got this awesome decorate any room in your home or office with our 10-inch wall clock. So there's also GaggleAMP, which is my. I also just pass everything through for them. They've got really good content. I would highly recommend, doing that for them. And on the leaderboard, I am not number 1. See, I am number 8 because I just do not have what it takes to get up there in terms of points. Although with my personal message reach, I will own all of these people. Ha ha ha. And then there's SobelMedia. I really appreciate Mr. Sobel, who, if you look at Facebook, here we are. Bill Sobel here from SobelMedia. Awesome dude. He basically knows everybody. However, let's see if let me go to here we are. My history and leaderboard. He hasn't yet set up anything. So here's the biggest problem, right? You set something up, you get all wiggly about it, and you don't use it. Like, it's really important to use it, Bill. No messages, activate leaderboard, but who knows? There's just nothing going on there yet. I need to email him. Hey, Bill. I am looking forward to passing through your awesome message on the SobelMedia GaggleAMP. GaggleAMP. Gaggle. But can't wait. Looking forward. So he hasn't done anything with it yet, so he needs to get going with it. It only works if you work it. But with FIR, I've been doing it like crazy. See, auto share, all this great stuff. Happy to do it. Happy to oblige. Message schedule doesn't really matter to me because I auto amp or auto share. But Glenn's really proud of this, so I got to tell you about it. So you can share it, based on what time of day, any time of day, between 9 and 5 or 8 and 6, over 3 days, over 12 days, etc. You can just pile all those messages in, check all, schedule them, and it'll populate between these particular times, blah, 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 blah. Good stuff. I think I'm done, is that it? Go to Manager Dashboard. And 90 people and all the cool stuff, and I hope you learned something, and I hope my winging it kind of video is useful to you, but let us go to here, GaggleAMP.com. Oh, one thing I want to show you that I didn't have an opportunity to do. If you like this stuff, you go to Account, you go to Setup Wizard, right? Let's look at that. Or you can go Add a Gaggle. Now, you can get your own Gaggle. I think that there's some time when you get it for free, you know, as a try for free kind of deal. But I had a hard time finding where to go ahead and create my own Gaggle. Like, I'm in Member View here, and I'm like on FIR, and I'm like, how do I join, you know, how do I join the Gaggle? I don't know. Down here, get your own Gaggle. Up here, under Account, doesn't help. But down here, get your own Gaggle. So after you join mine, you can get in here and you can get your own Gaggle, try it for free, and then rock it out, right? And I highly recommend it. It's easy, right? If you want me to share that kind of thing, I can share that later. But right now, I'm going to log out, and I'm going to say GaggleAMP, yada yada yada. And then if you go, if you go to Marketing Conversation, right here, marketingconversation.com, you can join my AMP, my Gaggle, right here, which is awesome, and you totally should. And this is why you should join Gaggle, and it's fun and easy, and all that other stuff. So, thank you very much. I am much obliged that you would spend so much time with me, and mahalo and aloha. Ciao.